BYU game?
Yeah, I've loved our kids' attention to the game plan, to preparing. Thought it was one of our better weeks. Don't know that means anything in regards to the performance against BYU. It's a tall task for us, but I'm thankful and think our kids are doing everything that they're asked to do to prepare for it. So excited that we get to host a game like this of this importance. Against a quality opponent like BYU, and just got word, I think, that this is the first official sellout in school history. So I like doing things that are first, as you know, and so we can add that one to the list. But it's exciting. It'll be an exciting weekend on the mountain, and hopefully we can make enough plays to have a chance there in the fourth quarter.
You mentioned quite a bit this year about the inconsistencies on offense. Have you, through practice this week and getting, I guess, the base package, and do you feel more confident that you can be consistent on offense this week?
I mean, that's your hope. You take pride in being able to. I've never had struggles on offense really quite like this, and obviously, you can't control the injuries, and we're not excuse makers, but. And some kids it comes natural to, and some it doesn't, and some it takes a little more work. And we worked extremely hard this week to make sure our kids that we're going to play understand the plan. But you're going to have to go out and you've got to make the right reads, and then you've got to execute it. But I'm confident that we've prepared well and we have a good plan. And we got to. But these guys are college quarterbacks, and they've got to make the throws when they're there, and they got to make good decisions that take care of the ball, and that's if we do those two things, hopefully we'll have a chance. If we don't, it'll be really a tall hill to climb.
From a coach's perspective, how much does a sold-out crowd mean to you and your team, as well as how much does it attribute to the game?
Well, first, our crowds are always incredible. So I would say that arguably we. Group of 5 schools, I just don't think there's many that have a better home atmosphere than we do with our fans and our incredible students and band and everyone else that our home crowds have been really, really good. So I don't want to, just because this one's a sellout, doesn't I think it's good every week. But obviously, doing something that's the first in school history means we're doing something right. As a program, and that's exciting.
You brought it up with your players this week that this is the biggest home game in school history. Some coaches tend to shy away from that, others like to embrace it. Why is it important for you guys to embrace that reality?
I'm a realist. I call things the way I see them, and I think that's just the way I want to live. I think it's a big game, and to say anything to my kids, I think they would think that I've changed and become all of a sudden something that I'm not. And I always tell them on Mondays exactly what I think about the previous game and the upcoming game, and that's what I think about this one. That doesn't mean it means anything more. At the end of the day, it's going to be either a check in the win column or a check in the loss column. And it doesn't mean any more than the last one or the next one. But to stand there and not call it what it is, I would not be true to myself.
Your defense has had a really strong season and been pivotal in a few of these wins that you've had so far this season. But is this BYU offense maybe the best offense or close to what Wake offered as far as their playmakers?
Yeah, I would think it's they have playmakers like Wake. Wake's system is quite different, but nonetheless, they're very, very good at what they do at BYU. You just look at the numbers; they haven't struggled scoring points, and so that's it's going to be a tall challenge for us. And we're a little short at defensive end there, and short at receiver this week. We got some bad news this week on C.J. Yarbrough and Javion Lofton. They'll both be out, so we're even more thin than we were. We will activate C.J. Daniels for this game, just so you know, to play. We were going to redshirt him. We are planning to do that, but obviously, I think it's a good rule that the NCAA put in place for kids to be able to play in 4 games for this kind of scenario when you really get depleted at a position. So you can expect to see him play to try to help us get through this game with some quality depth.
Caleb Sneed back?
Sneed is iffy. He's just not. He's not all the way there. Will he try? I think so, but hasn't been able to practice since Tuesday.
BYU, this the quarterback Jaron Hall, being the dual threat that he is. How do you approach dual threat quarterbacks defensively?
You got to account for him. You know, you got to account for both his legs and his arm, and that's hard. And he's very talented. It's hard to do. I mean, we have Malik Willis for 2 years, and I think everybody saw that's a hard for anybody to plan for. I think it's the same for him. So it's I mean, there's times you will call something leaning toward trying to be sure you stop the run, and then others with the pass. You're not always right. They'll make some plays.
You talk about the girth of the offensive line a lot, but how about their height seems to really be, I mean, they're 6'8", you know, almost across. Not
Yeah,
across the
I've
board.
never felt, and we've played a lot of Power Fives, SEC, ACC, but this team, and when we went out there my first year, and just the length of these guys was crazy. And, you know, it's an issue for sure, and they've got I mean, even their linebackers, you know, there's usually, you know, there's some that have some 6-footers, and these guys are all 6'3", 6'2", 6'4", and length is an issue.
Where is the biggest issue? Is that just getting off blocks? Is it leverage? Is it what would be the biggest issue there?
Well, I mean, for us offensive line-wise, moving them, you know, that's going to be an issue for us. And, you know, then the length comes into play in passing lanes and everything that they have. And then their offensive line obviously can just cover you up some, but they're going to move with us too some in our defensive line. So it's not the first time we've played a team that's bigger than we are.
I know you said scheduling philosophy-wise, you want to keep everything regional, moving to Conference USA, but if the opportunity presents itself for a home and home with BYU, would that entice you down probably many years down the line?
The game itself, yes. The travel to Provo, no. I mean, it's just hard. Travel is hard, guys, on coaches, players, and, you know, it's a grind of a season. And if you can keep everything to those 1 and 2 hour-ish flights, it sure is advantageous on your body and on your rest. But I obviously wouldn't turn it down if Ian and our administration thought that was what's best to do. Just not crazy. I love the place out there. I love playing them and all of that. I travel. If they could guarantee me 11 a.m. kick, maybe. But I'm not. It has nothing to do with BYU. I'm not for anybody. We got to fly over 2 hours to play. I think there's enough teams we can find over this way.
You know, Jerry Falwell always talked about being on the level with Notre Dame and BYU, and now this weekend y'all face them here on the mountain. Does that mean anything to y'all as a football team, knowing that you're facing a team that Falwell always wanted to be on the same level with sporting-wise?
It does to me. I think it does to our coaches. I hope it does to some of our players. I addressed that Monday with them. Obviously, when I first took the job here, I did some of my homework and watched some of his talks, and obviously I stayed in his old office in the mansion there for a while, and would walk by his office pretty much daily and see the football helmet sitting there that hadn't been moved. And I know it was important to him and his vision when he first started this place, so it does mean something. And here we are playing them on national TV at home, and it's being talked about somewhat. So it's I think we're helping his vision come true.
Is Charlie still bugging you to play?
Charlie wants to play badly. He's not ready today, in my opinion, but he wants to play badly. It wouldn't shock me for us to try him if things aren't going well, but I just got to see how he improves. He doesn't have enough flexibility in his hand to to make me feel confident he can make every throw he needs to make for us to win this game. But I'm hopeful that it gets better before Saturday.
BYU's run defense is arguably one of the worst in college football. They allow 4.1 yards a carry. Does that maybe give Day-Day a few more carries than normal, or is that more of like how the O-line is playing?
I hope that's the case. I do. But they've played Oregon, Baylor, Arkansas, Notre Dame, good Utah State team. I mean, so numbers can be a little deceiving, but that sure would be the nice. If you told me we can average 4 plus 4 yards a carry, I'll take it right now. And keep giving it to them.
Coach, halfway through the season, more than halfway, your defense, they lead the nation in sacks right now and in interceptions. What does that mean to you as a coach to be able to dominate defensively, especially last year, total of 11 turnovers total. Now it's already 6 past and the season.
Yeah, I guess when I first came here, you know, I always was known as, not that I really care what anybody says about me anymore, but he's an offensive guy that's gonna score a lot of points, but you know, defensively they're not that great, and I wanted to. That always bothered me because I don't think they really looked at what happened at Arkansas State or my first 3 years at Ole Miss. Now the last 2 we were bad. I think there's a lot of reasons for that I could go into, but nobody really cares. I told everybody I hired here that we're going to build this with quarterback and defense. And defense starts with the D-line, and that's the way we've recruited. And so it's gratifying to see us playing well on defense. We still need to improve in some areas, but that's the way I wanted to build it, and I don't think you can win consistently without good defense. Thanks, guys.